Alright, welcome back my Duelist friends, Casual Duelist here. And today, like I promised yesterday, I've got you guys a commentary update for Lair of Darkness for those of you playing this in 2022. Wow, holy jeez. Can I start that over again? If you guys are playing this in 2024, my gosh. So the way this deck is going to go, the first card we're going to want 3 copies Arima Wicked Warden. First effect, we could pitch, add Lair Darkness to hand. Additionally, once per turn, you contribute a dark monster, draw a card, or if I attribute a dark monster other than this card to activate the card, I can choose to instead add 1 dark monster with 2k or more defense from the deck to the hand. Each effect is once per turn, and again, with Lair Darkness, we can start tributing our opponent's monster cards. Next up, we've got the Double Duke Shade. Duke Shade is kind of weird, so you can tribute any number of dark monsters, special summon this from the hand if you do, gains 500 per monster attributed. If we're using the Lair of Darkness to offset our cost, we can only attribute the 1 monster, that's fine, this will get 1,000, whatever, but it's still special summons to our side unlike a regular Kaiju, which goes to the opposing side. So we can still use stuff. If normal or special summon, target a level 5 or higher dark in the graveyard, add that to hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. And you can't summon monsters this turn that you activate either of the effects except the dark attributes. So you'll have to be a little careful with the extra deck, but outside of that, you should be fine. We are going to continually use 3 copies Lilith, Lady of Lament. There's not that many targets. She's just pretty standard for this. And I didn't include tour guides this time because I think she's actually my only tour guide target. And while that could be good, I just didn't want to lock in. So when this is normal summoned, the original attack of this becomes 1,000. Quick effect, tribute a dark monster, reveal 3 traps from your deck. The opponent randomly chooses 1 for you to set on your side of the field and shuffle the rest back into the deck. You can only use this effect once per turn. Now, real quick, had I used my tour guides, I'd probably go 2 Lilith, 1 tour guide just to do the offset the way this deck is built today. Because number 1, she's going to special summon, she's going to get the full 2k. And second, we can go ahead and we can tribute either our opponent's monster because we've already got our field spell intact, or we can go ahead and we can get rid of the tour guide. Doesn't matter. And then I'm just going to show my opponent 3 of the same trap card, and it don't matter because again, we're cooking. And then the last basic card for this deck is going to be 2 copies Radeon. He's just a Kaiju. He's dark. That's why he's in here. I am playing a small amount of Albaz. So we're going to have 1 copy Albion because he can go ahead and convince his name into being Fallen of Albaz. But more importantly, we want 3 copies of Fallen of Albaz. So just real quick, let's get some focus. If this card is normal or special summoned except during the damage step, you can discard 1 card, fusion summon a fusion monster from the extra deck using this and 1 of your opponent's monster cards. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, he is essentially super poly. He can be responded to. And it's on a summon or a special summon. Keep that in mind because one of the other cards I'm going to use and use a lot of is 2 copies of Summoner Monk. Because Summoner Monk helps me do stuff with my extra deck. But it also allows me to just pitch, what is this now, spells? Yeah, discard a spell to special summon a level 4 from the deck. The monster can't attack this turn. Doesn't matter. If I go to Fallen of Albaz, I'm literally doing it because I want to get rid of your monster card. I do run some hand traps. Again, I've been running 3 Ash and 3 Droll for a little while now in Common Charity, so this just works. Going into spells, I'm going to be running the Triple Allure. You don't have to be super careful, and on the off chance, this is great to discard for either Fallen of Albaz, Summoner Monk, so it doesn't get too cloggy. We are going to run 3 copies Lair of Darkness. This is the craziness itself. So all face-up monsters on the field change their attribute to dark. Once per turn, if you attribute a monster you control to activate a card effect, you contribute 1 that your opponent controls, even though you don't control it. Once per turn during the end phase, special as many torment tokens as possible to the turn player's field in defense up to the number of monsters attributed this turn. So, just think about that. Next, we're going to use 2 copies of Mask Change 2. Now, this is kind of goofy and important. The way this works, discard a card, target 1 face-up monster you control that has a level, send to grave. After that, and it left the field by this effect. Special summon from the extra deck one masked hero with same attribute, but a higher level than the one that you sent when it was on the field. And the reason they say that is you have certain cards like Cost Down. Cost Down does affect star level for the entire turn, not just for the summoning portion. Additionally, you have things like Legendary Ocean. So there are ways of modulating level. There's a ton of spell traps that came out during the Xyz and Synchro eras that do this as well. Point. Special summon is treated as a mask change summon. You can only activate one of these per turn. This, in a dark deck, lets you get access to Dark Law, which is awesome. We are going to play the 1 Reborn. We've changed everything to dark, so you're silly if you're not playing 3 Super Polys, because again, fuse trapping is easy. 1 Terraforming, because I don't always want to get rid of Arima, let's be honest. We could probably drop Lair of Darkness down to 2 with this kind of a setup, but I really like the fact that Arima can let me tribute one of my opponent's monsters every turn to just draw a card, and that's nice. We are going to be using 2 copies of Crush Card. And the reason we're using 2 copies of Crush Card is very simple. It is not the more viral virus in our deck. Now, I do think one of these, like this is the older printing for the older text, and this is the newer text. The way it works now is you tribute a dark monster with 1,000 or less attack. The opponent takes no damage until the end of the next turn after this card's activation. You look at the opponent's hand, all monsters that they control. Anything with 1,500 or more attack gets destroyed. And then they also get the choice to destroy up to 3 monsters in their deck with the same value. They can just say no. This is changed because Doom Virus Dragon now has the old Crush Card virus effect. And unfortunately, we're just not running him. And then our last trap, this is the one that's basically going to give you game here. You're going to want to go with 3 deck devies. Obviously, we're calling spells. Look at even my deck lineup. This would devastate me as well. It gets very hard to play Yu-Gi-Oh! When you can't do things. When your monsters are continually getting, paired off into my own card. When you don't have spells. When Dark Law is sitting there basically just kind of being a jerk. This is really good. So just real quick, go ahead, screen cap or pause with notes. And I'll be right back with the extra deck. Alright guys, starting with the few. You know what, let's start with the Xyz. There's only 2. I'm playing 39 and S39 Utopia the Lightning. It's just a quick package that lets you get a monster that can go in, strike for 5,000 points if you decide to pitch materials, and his attack can't be responded to by cards or effects. So just to get that out of the way, like that is a cool 2-card thing, and we will be doing that. We play 1 copy of Albion Branded because this is plus light. Again, chances are we have our field spell, so this is probably going to be the least likely to be fused into. We can go over the effects, though. If fusion summon, you can fusion summon a level 8 or lower fusion from the extra deck except same name. By banishing materials mentioned from hand, field, or grave during the end phase. If this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add to the hand or set 1 branded spell trap from the deck. So again, you could go into a double fusion, and I did not mean to slap that, which isn't too bad. We are going to use 2 copies of Brigand. Brigand is going to focus, please. Be Fallen of Albaz plus a level 8 or higher. Again, this actually happens more often than you'd think. This one can't be destroyed by battle. While you control this fusion summon card, your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with monster effects. During the end phase, if this is in the graveyard, then you can add to your hand or special summon 1 Tri-Brigade or Fallen of Albaz. If we summon the Fallen of Albaz and we didn't already use his effect to fuse that turn, we can do it now, which means more fusion trapping. I threw a Diplexer Chimera in here just in case we go off against Cybers, because he's just a generically good trap-up. Same thing, we're going to be running 2 Dark Laws because we have 2 Mask Change 2s in the deck. So just running the Law of Averages. Again, it's not hard to do this to a 3 or 4 star in the deck to make sure that we can go ahead and Mask Change up in star level. So that's there. Sprint is easy. This is going to be plus effect monster that was special summon this turn. If we use Radion, we can put the Radion on our opponent's side of the field, just go straight into it. During the main phase, you can move this card to another of your main zones. Then you can destroy all other face-up cards in the card's column. So again, it kind of plays more like a board game with this. Definitely different. If this card's in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add to your hand or special summon one Spriggans or Fallen of Albaz from deck. So again, we can either load them in the hand or we'd play them and then go into another fusion. Your choice. 3 copies, Starving Venom. I don't want to read the full block because we're getting pretty close to 10 minutes, 10 and a half minutes already. You guys understand that this is just any 2 darks. It's the ultimate fuse trap while we're playing this. And then we're going to round up to 15 with 2 Titaniclad, the Ash Dragons. Get a little bit of focus. The way this one works is it's going to be plus a monster with 2,500 or more attack. Again, happens more often than you think. Gain attack equal to the combined original levels of all monsters used for the fusion summon times 100. So again, if we're using Albion, I think Albion's like an 8, so that would start at like 800, but we're more than likely using Fallen. Fallen's at 4, that's going to be plus 400. After this card is fusion summoned for the rest of the turn, it is unaffected by activated effects of any other monsters special summoned from the extra deck. During the end phase, if this is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can again either add or special summon 1 Dogmatica or Fallen of Albaz from the deck. So again, each one of them sort of like tries to lend into more fusion power. It does allow us to keep going back in there and get our Fallen of Albaz. Excellent deck. I think it's a lot of fun to play. Hopefully you guys give this one a try. If you like it, support the channel, like, comment, sub. And then we hope to see you guys back for the next video, alright? Till then, you guys have a good one. Later.